Hello everyone, my name is Darren Coleman and I run a company called Kickoutbullying. Now, I'm 6'8" tall, I'm 17.5 stone, and I'm 4 times British, 3 times European, and 2 times world kickboxing champion. And hopefully I'm going to head off to Greece later on in this year and try and claim a 3rd world title. But a long time ago, taking me back to middle school, it was very, very different for me. Now, if I push this button, I may, piece of magic there. There is a picture of me in the middle and the school I went to when I was around 8 years old. I absolutely hated going to school because I knew I was going to get bullied. And because of this, I've spent the last 12 years travelling all around the UK, visiting schools, trying to help other children that are being victims of bullying. So today, I'd like to spend the next 5 or 10 minutes talking to you about bullying and what it means to us. That word, bullying. What is that word, bullying? What does it mean? Well, listen, if I'll change the screen back so you can see me. Hang about. There you go. If I was an alien and I was sent down from another planet on a mission to travel to Earth to discover what the word bully means, strangely enough, if I landed on Earth in the year 1530, the word bully actually meant sweetheart. It was a term of endearment, a very different term today. Bullying, I'm sure you know what bullying is. Bullying is aggressive or insulting behaviour by an individual or even by a group of people, often repeated over a period of time. Basically, it's making someone feel bad. You cannot accidentally bully someone. So that's what the word bullying means. Now, there's different types of bullying, from being physical, where someone is being hurt or pushed around or taking their belongings, breaking things that they own. This is what I experienced daily when I was growing up. There's also emotional bullying. This is where someone is spreading rumours about them and saying lies and saying some, real horrible things. There's also a form of bullying which exists today that didn't exist when I was growing up. And that type of bullying is called cyberbullying. Children today tend to own mobile phones and they tend to have computers and they can play on the internet and play games. Someone that's being horrible to someone using some form of technology is called cyberbullying. Now, cyberbullying is very, very dangerous because you don't have to be in the same room to be subjected to bullying. I had to be face to face with the person that was bullying me. Nowadays, someone could be online, they could be even in another country. Quite likely you've never even met that person. So, for example, playing an online game, it could be really, really dangerous. You'd never actually meet that person. So, be really careful when you interact online. So I've mentioned a couple of ways that people are bullied, but really there is many more that you could add to that list. Maybe you can think of some of the other reasons why people get bullied. So I guess the big question is, what do we do? Now, I'd like to get this out there straight away before anyone thinks this is a solution. At no point, never ever, is it right to hit back. This was advice that I was given to me by my dad when I was bullied. Thankfully, I never took him up on his advice. And to this day, the only time I've ever hit anyone is when I'm wearing, give me 2 seconds, so you can see these, a pair of gloves like these. So these keep me safe. These keep the person that I'm fighting against a little bit safer. And we wear protective equipment to protect ourselves. And we do it together. The person that I'm fighting against will be consenting for the purpose of our sport or for training. And even then, there's qualified first aiders present if something should go wrong. I heard a story some years ago where someone got punched in the street and the person fell backwards and hit their head on the concrete floor and they died several hours later. Imagine how you would feel if you hurt someone really bad and that happened to them. you would have to live with that for the rest of your life, and so would they, so would their families as well. So it's a really, really bad thing, and it's really, really dangerous. So please, when I say that fighting can be dangerous, it should be avoided at all costs. So what should we do then? What should we do if we're bullied? What's the best thing that we can do? Well, let me tell you something now. The best thing that we can do is make sure we tell someone. So very often people suffer in silence and they don't say anything about what's happening to them. I was guilty of this for too long. I kept it to myself. If only back then I said something sooner, I'm sure I would have never been bullied for as long as I was. There are many people you can tell. There's your teacher. There's other teachers. There's your brothers and sisters. There's your parents or your guardians. You just got to make sure it's got out there. You need to tell someone. That is the first steps in dealing with bullying. It's also really good to make notes. I say this quite often. Sometimes people might not take it seriously for what you're saying. But imagine if you went to someone and said, I'm being bullied, this is what's happening. And you've got a notepad and you say, I was bullied on this date at this time, this is what happened. This time, this date, this is what happened. If you can make some evidence of what's happening to you, all those things that are going on, it will really help you when you're showing someone that it's very, very serious. But maybe it's not you. Maybe it's one of your friends that's being bullied. What do you do about that? Nothing? Or perhaps you could help them too. Maybe you could go and tell a teacher for them. Or perhaps you can make some notes. Do exactly the same as what you would do if it was happening to you. Some people are too scared to go and tell anyone. If they're too scared and they tell you not to do it, I would suggest really that you do need to go and say to someone, look, this is what's happening, okay? Because it will continue until it's out there and something's done about it. Maybe you don't even know the person that's being bullied. You can still help them too by going to tell someone. It's important. If we know it's happening, make sure that someone that can do something about it is told as well. I'd also like to spend a few moments talking directly to those people amongst us that perhaps are the bullies. Sadly, those that bully feed off the reaction they get from the victim. They think it's funny and they like their friends to watch them. They think their friends find it funny, and that's probably why they do it. But quite often, those that bully have their own problems. Maybe they're not happy with their home life. Maybe they have an older brother or sister that's giving them a hard time. Maybe they've experienced some stressful or traumatic experiences themselves. Maybe their parents or guardians have split up, or perhaps there's even been a death in the family. Whatever the reason is, please talk to someone like a teacher, and I'm sure they can get you the help that you need. You may feel that being a bully makes you popular and funny to others whilst you're bullying someone else, but the truth is, those so-called friends don't want to be your next victim, so they'll go along with it because they don't want to be that next victim. You really are hurting an innocent person, so please, if you are doing that and trying to think it's making you popular, it really is not making you popular. So to wrap up, I would just like to say that bullying really hurts, even if it's not physical. It happened to me over 30 years ago, and I can remember it like it was yesterday. I remember every detail back then, from the hurtful words to feeling the pain to the very spot where things happened to me. This was a very, very long time ago. Be nice to each other. If there's something happening in your life that you're not happy with, and even if you're not experiencing bullying, perhaps it's something else that you're not happy with, please make sure you get it out there and go and tell someone. It's the first steps on dealing with any problem, is being able to go and tell someone. I've got one more screen for you to see, and that is this one. You can find out more about what I do on my website, which is www.kickoutbullying.com. And from there you can download my free ebook called Bullying Didn't Stop Me, and inside that it's got lots of helpful advice and a story of how I went from a bullied kid to my first world kickboxing title back in 2008. That just about wraps it up from me. Thank you very much for listening to me today. Do take care of yourselves, and for now, goodbye.